Hi, hello, and welcome to Quantum Healing Hands Tarot. Today, I just kind of wanted to look at a quick what we need to know reading. You know, sometimes we wish we could like pick up a newspaper or something and what what we need to be doing in our life right now that we may not even be thinking about to have our focus on. I know sometimes I kind of get a little scattered in my goals and my focus. So I just wanted to help everybody out with what you need to know right now in your life. So these are the four piles. If you already know just by looking, go ahead and click the timestamp down below in the description box. If you don't know, let's go ahead and start some breathing and we can look over the four piles. So we're going to start with 3 deep breaths. So I wanted to have you guys choose between 4 different songs. I really like when people do different things like that, like it'll be like a video clip so I wanted you guys to choose between 4 different songs. So the first song is Swing Into My Heart. The second song is Leave This Earth. The third song is Strut In, Tiger Heat. And the fourth is Message from Spirit. So these are 4 songs that I created. I wrote, I guess you could say, because they're instrumental songs. So you could hear the little bit of snippets of the song right there, but if you want to listen to the songs further after you choose your pile, or if you want to listen to the songs first, I'll create a little link right there. But yeah, so those are the 4 choices you could choose from. So if you can't just choose from that, what I like to do, honestly, more than any of those things, is I like to close my eyes and ask my intuition which pile to pick. And more often than not, I will see a number in my mind's eye as if I was like looking at a light and I closed my eyes and that shape was still there. So that's what I do. It has never let me down. So go ahead and pick your pile, click the timestamp down below, and I'll meet you there. Hi, Pile 1. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited that you chose this song in particular. Swing Into My Heart is one of my favorite songs I created. So I created the instrumental music, so that's pretty much the only stuff you can stream. But I do have I think they're still on my SoundCloud. But I wanted to read the lyrics and see if that kind of is going to play into what this reading's about. Do you ever truly know what love cruelly is? Do you ever want to know what love's trying to do? Do you know the difference from your hand to my face to the fist fighting to save face? I'm tears for fears, head over heels. I keep on running away from it all. I keep on running away from it all. Swing into my heart after it all. Can't believe after all that time I'd still fall. So, this song was about so I wrote all these songs about certain times in my life. I used the screen names I was using at that time to represent what was going on at that time. And so I was really hurting. I was in an extremely unhealthy relationship, and I was trying to save face. I was trying to appear that I was doing well and strong, but I wasn't. And I eventually ended up just literally running away from it all. And so it took me a while to figure out you can't run away from your problems. So that's the song you chose. Let's see what the cards have to say. So the first question I asked is, what is the overarching theme in what you need to know? So the thing that is coming to me with Temperance here is I'm just getting this energy of you're finally facing who you are and what you are trying to accomplish. I feel like you're understanding that it takes time and balance, and I have a feeling that you maybe didn't have that same patience before, and so, or you're learning to gain that right now, because that song is about coming face to face with what is actually going on. And so I have a feeling that you have maybe not quite understood your purpose and meaning towards what you were doing. So this is just the overarching theme. We do have a lot more cards, but I just see that you are in a time of self-reflection. Like, you just know this is not about running away anymore. This is about actually stopping and doing the work and putting in the time. And you have the wisdom coming in right now of what you're doing. You are making those plans for the future. You're making those plans for the future, and I'm curious what kind of caused this. What was the catalyst, per se? So, the next question I asked is, how have you been already making progress towards this situation? What have you done that's already made progress? Yeah, you have gained this energy of balance that I'm so happy for you, because where you're coming out of is a very painful place. And you've learned this patience that I'm sure a long time ago you kind of felt like, why do I have to be patient? Why do I have to go through this crap to get to the good? And I wish I could tell you the real answer, like the bigger universe philosophical reason. Or I feel like I know the philosophical reason, but the universal reason of, if we didn't have it hard, if we didn't have to work for it, it wouldn't be as appreciated. And so I have a feeling you've been trying to create something, or both of these and that song, I'm just getting this energy that you have if you're not, if you haven't left like an ex, like somebody you broke up with, you are leaving behind your older self, or like moving away from home. There's just that energy that you are realizing nothing's going to change if nothing changes. I think these cards just keep talking about a vision. So I have a feeling that you knew who you wanted to be before, but you're finally going after it. And you're finally seeing the path ahead. And you've already started taking these steps. Like, I see you here, like actually mixing and planning, and like the pot is already going. You've already started this. And you are going into it this time so confidently. Like, no, I've made those mistakes before. And I really see this, what you're creating right now is gonna multiply. So whether it's a small business, or what's the other word? If this isn't about creating a small business, this is about creating self-love. So understanding that, oh, what did I just see? What's the phrase? What is that word? I'm going to feel so silly. Discipline. There you go. Discipline will take you much further than motivation. I was always that person who's like, well, motivation's the thing. I'm like, sometimes if you just do small steps repeatedly that are good for you, you'll notice you're going to do them all the time. These cards are just repeatedly saying that you have found this drive. And I have a feeling you may not have had that before. And so that's very valuable if you didn't have motivation before, or discipline. And so you have done so much. These are 3 amazing cards to have with this topic of pursuing something that you haven't just been sitting around talking about this idea. Like I said, your pot is already bubbling, which means you've already been working on this idea for a while. So this isn't something that you're going to be starting from scratch. This isn't like, I did have an idea a few years ago. Maybe I should kind of start developing that. Like, this is something that you have been working towards for a long time. And I think you just finally have the patience and wherewithal, the wisdom to do it. Like, I just see her face so confidently, and it's really cool. This card literally is just saying, like, when it hasn't worked out, try again. And that's what I love about this reading so far, is you aren't letting one setback and one painful experience be the thing that keeps you from going where you want to go. And I think you have just been able to look at life. You're not afraid anymore of what you're going to find out. So many people don't move forward at all because they don't want to know what's in the unknown. I promise that there's always something better in the unknown. I feel like you finally believe that the universe is magic and is working for you. And if you haven't like consciously known that, you subconsciously know it, and that's why you've been moving forward. You've actually leaped into faith. But because of logic and reason, because you've really learned that you can't, if you fall down, you got to get back up. And that's what I see, is that you've been getting back up. The next question I asked, though, was what are you struggling with regarding this topic? Well, does the word perfectionism make you feel anything? Does it make you feel defensive? Does it make you feel like, oh yeah, I already know that? Because there is, that could definitely be something that I see you struggling with, that even though when you fall down, you always get back up, I see that you could definitely be falling down, and when you get back up, you're like, okay, this is what I did wrong, and this is what I have to fix, and then you kind of over analyze what you did wrong. And these are kind of just saying like, don't think that if you aren't doing it perfectly, you aren't going to get, you aren't going to make the money soon enough. And this card is just kind of too much of a focus on the material. And what's funny is it literally kind of describes, it says like too focused on like the luxuries of like food, money, and sex. And I think that's so funny because it's Joey. And I wonder if Joey had, because what breaks my heart about the show Friends is you get all the way through the series and everybody ends up with somebody except for Joey. Joey ends up alone. And it's very heartbreaking. And so I'm wondering if he hadn't been so hyper-focused on doing it right and perfect and making sure he got on a soap opera. Like that was, he met those goals, but I'm just hearing, be careful what you wish for. What you're working for right now, you can 100% succeed in it, but just make sure it's something that is going to actually sustain you wholly through your whole life. Like it can't just be about money. You have to find that balance, that element of love, happiness. What's the saying? It's from the movie and book Into the Wild. Happiness is only real when shared. So I'll leave that there. But next question is, what is the advice on how to continue to make progress? Because you've made so much progress. Don't forget that. You've made so much progress. You have continued to move forward. You are balanced. You are patient. You see where you want to go. You are driven. Just make sure as you're driving towards this, it's not about doing everything absolutely perfect and right. And it's not all about the reward. It's not all about the destination. It's about the journey there. I find it very interesting that for the advice card, I always pronounce this Awaz, but it does say you can also pronounce it Uwaz, like the yew tree. So that's just the first time I've ever really realized that this card could relate to that tree. Because the trees grow up, they're tall, they're strong, they have a goal in mind, and that's just growing. But what this card, or rune more particularly, is talking about here is knowing that everything in life has a cycle and that you cannot be afraid of death. I don't get the sense that this is about literal death. Well, okay, so I'm getting two energies. The one energy that it is kind of literally about death is I have a feeling you fear not living life, or like being able to live it long enough. So like that's why you want the money, because you want to enjoy life. And so I feel like you work really hard, and you could very possibly be someone who is very hyper focused on health because you want to live a long life. And there's an ironic thing that happens there when sometimes people who are so focused on being super healthy and living as long as they can so they don't die, don't live very long because they were so focused on doing everything so they don't die. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just experiencing life and living, it's this ironic thing of running away from, like in the song, if you're running away from death, you're actually running towards it. It's ironic, huh? So the other energy I'm getting is that there's something you're struggling to let go of, particularly a bad habit that is kind of holding you back from succeeding. And I feel like this is probably where this criticism for yourself comes in. I have a feeling that you know that this habit is what's holding you back from succeeding at the level you want. And so you may be kind of trying to like force this bad habit out. And something also kind of ironic about quitting things is you can't quit it until you're ready. So like I heard someone talking about how, you know, everyone wanted them to quit smoking cigarettes, and they just, every time they tried, it didn't work. And so then they kind of just were like, you know what? If I'm not done, if I'm not ready to be done, I'm going to smoke. And they kind of just let the stress go, and they kind of smoked as to their heart's desire. And before they knew it, they were over it. So that's not going to be for everybody, but sometimes when people are hiding things, or rather than just like hiding a bad habit, when you have shame involved, you're going to actually create more of it, if any of that makes sense. So that's the advice. Just know that with every ending is a new beginning, and just kind of let things go. And don't worry, honestly, don't worry about death. Don't worry about your end of life. Just enjoy every single day as if it's your last. Just be grateful that you are living, and I feel like you are manifesting such a cool future. Like that was the word that honestly just came out, like cool. Like I see you intuitively know what you're going after, but I don't feel like you can see it with your eyes. Oh, I did ask what your outcome is. So let's go ahead and check those out, and we'll talk a little bit more. So the question I asked is, what is going to be the outcome? Well, what's really cool here is, so the Eight of Wands is like the image of all the like really fast moving wands. So what you are creating, I feel like you have figured out the formula, and it will happen quickly. And the things you are envisioning and going after are happening for you. Like these two cards for your outcome to me are saying like what you're envisioning is going to happen quickly. And it's what you've been working towards. It's what you've been wanting. Just don't be afraid to experience love and relationships. Don't be afraid to try new things. Like I'm just hearing like what I'm seeing and envisioning in my head is like someone who's always wanted to go skydiving, but is too afraid to actually jump out of an airplane. So they have places that you can go skydiving, and basically you are over a gigantic fan, and so you're actually being blown up, and you're indoors, so it's safe. So if there's something that you've wanted to experience but you're kind of afraid of, like that's what I'm getting is try new things. I think you'll be really surprised by what it ignites inside of you. And I think you're going to learn to loosen up a little bit. I don't feel like this perfectionist, money-focused energy it's not sustainable. It doesn't last very long. So even if this is where you're at now, you're going to get to that point where you're like, because to me, sometimes it's just age. So you're going to get to a point very soon when you're just like, life is life. And I am going to reach my goals, but I am not going to be pressuring myself on when. Removing a time limit from yourself is the best thing you can do. Let me tell you. The last thing I wanted to do, I've only done the letters once. And so I thought that would be fun to kind of have this amazing jar. So, I wanted to grab a couple letters. I thought it was really, I don't know the word. Each one turned out super cool last time, so. Oh my God, does it say goat? That'd be funny. No, it says coat. That's so funny. Put a coat on. Oh my God, stop. Taco Cat. Have you ever heard of the band Taco Cat? So fun. Such a fun band. I'm gonna leave those letters like that. I kind of like the letters just being something for you. I do not need to analyze them at all. We got the cato, which would be cute if it's a gato. Tau. Anyways, so I'm gonna leave it on taco because that's just the cutest. So, taco. All right, pile one. This was really exciting. I really enjoyed using a song as something to pick from. So, I don't think I have much else. I see you're gaining this momentum, and I'm just really excited for you because you've been working towards this for a long time. So I think what I'm hearing right now is set up a lot of little goals so that when you succeed one, you already know what project you're onto for the next. So don't do them all at once, but just know kind of that plan. And I think you'll really enjoy that process. Just enjoy life. I'm really excited for you. Pile one. Just thank you so much for being here. Honestly, this is so exciting every time I get to do a reading. So if you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading is just doing really well and I'm doing my job right. And so if you loved it, oh my gosh, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. Every time I get a new subscriber, I promise you it absolutely fills my heart with joy. So thank you so much for all being here. I can't wait to see you at the next one. Have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to bring you this message about just kind of what you need to know right now. So this was the first time I've ever had used a song. And so I don't know if I don't think I explained it before. So maybe I did. Regardless. Anyways, so the songs I have up are actually only instrumental, but when I first created them, they did have lyrics and audio. I just wasn't really good at mixing and mastering yet, so those will come later down the line. But this is what the song is about. So I'm going to read the lyrics and then talk about that a little bit. So, what's your age? What's your sex? Tell me your location. What's your age? What's your sex? Tell me your location. I don't know what a shuttle's worth, but I'ma buy me one and leave this earth. I'm not safer for the length of my skirt. I have anger for the lies of how this works. So basically, each song was created from the different screen names I had throughout my life and what was going on in my life at that time. So this song was called originally Shuttle Girl. And so that was my screen name a long time ago. And so this song was just kind of about how I felt very vulnerable when I was younger. I guess I don't know what child doesn't, but it was scary, like being on the internet, literally. Like, you'd have people who you felt like could stalk you, or everyone lied about their age and their sex and their location. It was ASL, age, sex, location, showing my age. So but this song was just kind of representing the lies and the lack of safety I felt as a kid. And, saying things like, oh, you'll be safer if the length of your skirt is longer. Like, that's not true. People get hurt regardless of the length of their skirt. So, yeah. I wrote this during the pandemic. So it definitely had this energy to it of just like feeling trapped and wanting to get out. So I'm curious if you are at that stage in your life where you are trying to kind of ground yourself and figure out, are you enjoying the truth and the reality you're living in right now? Or do you feel like it's bullshit and you kind of need to find your own reality? So, but I did ask the first question I asked was, what is the overarching theme in what you need to know right now? I think that's funny that the song is called Leave This Earth, the instrumental one, and this card literally kind of means like you're a little bit out of touch with reality and needs some grounding. Like, literally says like needs to come back down to earth. So I think that's really funny that that's what this card is saying compared to the song. Let me think. So the energy that I'm getting from this is just something has been holding you back from being your true self, reaching your full potential, and being able to be the manifester that I know you want to be. So, like I was saying with the song Leave This Earth, it kind of just was about like being over the bullshit of where I was at. So I'm curious if you maybe feel a little detached from everything because of where you're at. So you don't enjoy where you're at. Maybe you still live at home, or you still live in your hometown, or you don't like the roommates you have. Like there's something about where you're at right now that is feeling very detached and, you know, kind of living outside of yourself. And I can definitely understand that with that song. Like that song is kind of written from the perspective of like when I was like 11, and I just was so uncomfortable with my life and where I was at. And all I wanted was to be older and grown up and able to do what I want. Yeah, this card and this reading is just going to kind of be about focusing your energy and where it's going to go and what we're going to do with that. So don't worry, I asked plenty of questions. The first question I asked was, how are you already making progress with this topic? What are you already doing right? So I think you have learned how to kind of move on from the past. I think you know what doesn't feel good, you move on from. I think you've learned to kind of stop being fixated on the things that hurt you before, the things that caused you to be detached. I actually kind of see you have this nature of you looking forward. Yeah, you have this nature about you that even if you're not enjoying where you're from, you have such security in where you're going. And I can relate to this energy a lot. When I was younger, I fantasized about my future more than anything. I probably was daydreaming all the time about, honestly, my life now. And like when I was younger, all I wanted to do was make music. Younger me would be blown away that I have music you can stream online and that I'm doing extra things that I love, like tarot. Oh my God, I would have thought that was so cool when I was younger, because I've always been into this sort of stuff my entire life. And there's this energy that you may not be where you want to be right now, but you 1000% have woven and constructed the future in your head. And so you know exactly where you're going. I think you've just learned that this energy that just came to me is like, what you've been told about where to go with your life just has never sat with you well. And so I think you've just learned to go with what brings you joy. And again, so there's this very detached energy right now because you're not where you want to be. So I'm curious what all the other cards are going to say, but I just want to say just be sure to practice being present, because when you get there, when you actually are in the place that you've always wanted to be, if you have only practiced detachment, it will be very difficult to be grounded in this energy. So there is a need to, even though you're not in the environment you want to be, if you can find in any way, shape, or form the places to be grateful and be present, you will find being present so much easier when the good has arrived. So that's just what's coming to me. The next question I asked is, what are you struggling with regarding this topic? So the energy I'm getting is that this placement you're in right now feels very overwhelming. And what these two cards here are saying together is that things can be very chaotic and crazy and kind of tumultuous is the word, which is what I keep getting that you're trying to remain detached from. But the Seven of Wands reversed here is talking about giving up. So I just don't want you to be so detached from where you're at that you actually can't see a way out. Does that make sense? Like, you know, the song is asking, like, how much is a space shuttle? How much does it cost? Because if I could afford one, I would buy one and leave this earth. And so that's what this is saying, is like, you're just very, just if you could, you would get on a rocket ship today and get out of here. But I kind of want to present to you that the challenge is the ladder out. Going through the experience is what will get you out. By remaining detached, you aren't actually being present and seeing that you do have ways out around you. I kind of see you sitting at the bottom of a like a pit, literally, and you've just been fantasizing about how you're going to get out. But I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, oh God, is it 127 Hours? It's the movie with James Franco about the man who was hiking by himself and he got stuck between a rock. Literally, his arm got caught in a rock and he didn't know what to do. And he spent a lot of that time just fantasizing about like how he's going to survive this. And it literally wasn't until he finally was like, I have to get myself out of here, that he, I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but he finds a way to get out. And the only way he was able to do that was by being present. And so this is saying like, yeah, the winds are crazy outside right now. I have no doubt that the situation you're in is exhausting. But these cards are just saying like, I know being detached from the situation seems like the only way to get through it, but it's actually making more time pass without any progress. And eventually you'll just be like, well, I've been in this situation so long, I may as well give up. And I don't want that for you. Coming from my experience, it wasn't until I became present in my life and took action on my life that I, experienced probably a lot more pain than I thought I was experiencing before. It's almost that law of comparison of like, I went out and started living life and I was like, oh dang, I thought I had it hard before. That's hilarious. So, but I had to be present. The next question I asked is, what is some advice on how to continue to make progress? So this rune, Isa, represents ice. But the energy that I'm actually pulling from this card is, in the book, it's talking about how it can also represent focusing the will and trying to find that part of us that needs to be activated to accomplish something difficult. So I kind of see that you need to thaw out, actually. Like, there's a time and a place for everything. That's what this is saying. And so I feel like you've been at a pause for a really long time. And so now it's time to actually dig deep inside of yourself and discover a part of you that I don't think you you may have known you had it on a subconscious level or a little part in the back of your mind, but you understand with how much you've been putting up with, that shows you how strong you are. And if you're strong enough to put up with that, you are even more strong to fight through it. Enduring crap is one thing and fighting it is another. This rune is about drawing upon our reserves and settles our flightiness. I love that. Because like I said, I know you want to just leave this situation. I know you just want to find a rocket ship and literally leave this earth. And you can, but you have to come back down to earth and activate that part of you that's going to get you through it. If that makes sense. So the last two cards I asked was, what is the outcome? So normally the Five of Wands is all about like competition and strife and tension, and there's this energy I'm understanding here that, yeah, when you wake up and kind of reactivate that part of yourself, there may be a little bit of strife. People do not like when you start waking up and realizing that, hey, I think while I was asleep you were taking advantage of me and I'm done with that. They're not going to be happy with that. Somehow, some way, they're going to make it your fault. So, but with the Queen of Cups here, that I'm getting this energy that like the tension is done. The time of strife is actually done. You are going to wake up and be so calm and steady. Like this ice card, this Isa. You have endured so much. It's like if you've been hanging onto a tree outside through a tornado and all of a sudden the tornado's gone. You don't have to keep clinging to the tree anymore. And that's what I'm seeing is you're kind of like releasing, relaxing your hands and looking around and seeing like, oh, wow, I went through a lot. And I'm so glad I didn't give up in the middle of that. When things just felt like it was too much, you held on. And so now you're kind of waking up and seeing that avoiding conflict isn't better than facing it. Because when you face it and you're in control of your emotions, oh man, it feels amazing. So that's what I've got for you. I wanted to pull out some letters because good gravy, that was so fun last time. So, yeah, I'm just going to pull out a few letters. I don't really do too much analyzing on them. I just think they're really exciting and fun. All right. Interesting. FLNT. Flint. So without even switching them around, like I said, I don't like to analyze them too much, but just the three things, like Flint, the thing that you use to start fires, Flint, Michigan, with the situation with their water, and Flint stones. So all of these three things, to me, like the Flint, like the fire is starting, Flint, Michigan, like you can't just keep drinking this poison and by being disconnected isn't gonna make everything better. You have to be present and active. And then the Flintstones, literally what I'm seeing is their, like, the way they would, like, foot paddle to move their cars. So this all to me is just about movement, starting, activating, waking up. And so I'm not even going to move those around. So that's what I'm getting here, pile 2. I know sometimes it's easier to be detached and, you know, like during the pandemic, there was so much going on politically, and I think it was easy for a lot of people to just not pay attention to that. But that didn't solve the problem, and it is only when you activate that part of yourself that cares and has empathy to improve your own life will you make progress. So pile 2, I'm just going to leave it at that and let you, analyze that as you will. I really hope this was able to bring you some sort of message or guidance through this. Sometimes Spirit just knows what we need to hear more than we do. So pile 2, thank you so much. It is honestly just such an honor every time I get to read for you. If you like this message, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. That lets me know the reading is working. And if you loved it, oh my gosh, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel as I continue on this journey. It has just been absolutely rewarding, and I just am so grateful every time I get a new subscriber. So I can't wait to see you guys in the future. Hope to see you there. Have a great day. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited you chose this particular song. So the lyrics actually come from, I created 2 versions. The ones you can stream are just the instrumentals. So this is Strut in Tiger Heat, but the original song with the lyrics is called M Lush. So let's go ahead and read it, the lyrics, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So, just kissed and made up after our breakup. Walking in together, short, tiny weather. Little tube tops, fuck the cops, pouring shots, in the lot, getting caught. Strut in, tiger heat, killer beats and dancing feet. I'm grinning right before I'm spinning. I hit the floor, now I'm dragged out the door. And then I think there's too much sauce, now I'm boss. Where's my feet? I need a seat. One more drink. What'd you say? Do you think that we can stay? So this song, I wrote all these songs about different parts of my life. And so this was the part of my life when I was frequently drinking, frequently partying, frequently just having drama in my life. Like I was going through it. I was not having a steady life at all. And so I'm curious what the cards are going to kind of read about, but this song was about just literally like nothing, just kissed and made up after our breakup. Like this is drama. This is a song about someone who has been experiencing drama, likes the drama, lives for the drama, but maybe is kind of over the drama. Am I the drama? So that's that song. I'm so excited you chose that one. It's one of my favorite songs. So the club I used to go to all the time when I was younger was called Tiger Heat. So anyone from LA in the early aughts would know exactly what I'm talking about. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started on your cards. The first question I asked was, what is the overarching theme? What is the overarching theme of what you need to know right now? So when the devil is reversed, that's good. This means you're kind of breaking free of things that were holding you back and holding you down before. Like that song, this is perfect because this means you're moving on from those things. And the things that that song is representing is all about just bad habits, things that are holding you back, allowing different forces to control your life. And you're moving on from that. Sometimes when you're just so sick of it, you're finally ready to move on. Like, nobody wants to be on somebody else's leash. So, but you're not. I'm really excited that this is the overarching theme. Yeah, this could be all about like codependent relationships, financial debt, unproductive careers, unhealthy lifestyles, literally, girl, same. All the things that was going on in my life at the time of what this song represented when I wrote it. Does that make sense? So let's look a little bit further, because I got plenty of cards here. I asked what are you doing that is making progress with this? So what are you already doing well? What have you been doing to work through this? Well, when you get the 10 of Feathers, I think this is the 10 of Swords. Yeah, the 10 of Swords. So this is just saying, like, you're actually, you've shed, like the snake, you've shed the negative aspects that were kind of in your life. You've really gained a lot of self-empowerment. I love that, because both of these are saying that. So you are changing and growing and morphing, and I'm really excited to see that you're done with this old way of thinking, whether it was an addiction or just the relationship you were in. You, like, this couldn't happen without this. I think you finally got advice from people on how to get out. You were probably in a place where things weren't moving forward, whether it was your career or your relationship. And the thing you did to really help make progress with this was, I feel like you knew you shouldn't do it alone. And so I feel like as you were shedding the skin, the snake skin, it's like when you're trying to get a jacket off and you need help and you go up to a friend and you're like, hey, can you pull my sleeve? Like, it's that sort of energy. Like, you were already in the midst of getting your jacket off. No one should take credit for that from you, but you also know not to stand there and get more frustrated as you are trying to just take your coat off. I think you knew that you deserved better than you were getting. Whether it was an addiction and you just knew that it was taking your money or your time, or if it was a relationship just sucking up all the good and hard that you've worked for. 7 of Acorns is just that you know how to protect yourself. Yeah, I'm really proud of you, because moving past the devil is not easy at all. You have taken on a huge feat and adventure, and I'm just so happy for you, because where my life went after the time frame that song represents, I would have never known how good my life was going to be if I didn't move past those things. And so I'm just so happy for you that you know that whatever this was not good for you. It was drowning you, it was suffocating you, and it was trying to take the life from you. So I'm really happy you know that you deserved better than that. So the eel also represents this sort of like transformation, but this is like quickly. So I'm really happy to know that once you knew you had to move on, you did. You have allowed this enthusiasm to move you forward quickly, and these are really beautiful. This is a really great reading, and I'm really happy for you. Coming out of this sort of situation is not easy at all. It's not easy at all. So you've known that you've had to like go through a transformation, that it wasn't just something you were going to wake up one day and be like, man, I want things to be different. Like, you woke up and you knew shit had to change, and you changed it. So the next question I asked was, what are you struggling with regarding this topic? Oh, okay. Okay, I can see these cards in this position. So it's just saying you're having kind of a lack of clarity in your direction, which I completely understand. I feel like you have been fighting to get out of this hole for so long that you've reached the top, but you are like, you're covered in dirt, you're parched, you don't know where to go from here. Like, you escaped something really awful. However, you still have to find your way home. And so I see that. I see that. I relate. Because, yeah, after I got out of my hole, after I got out of that darkness, the things that were holding me back, I didn't necessarily know where I was going. I made some really questionable choices after that. But each questionable choice actually led me down the exact right path that I'm on now, and I'm where I am today because of it. So there is an element of just having faith in the universe. I kind of feel like you might have felt like, well, isn't this what the universe gave me? How can I trust the universe? Maybe I have to be in control. And it's like, no, the universe just knows. The universe and you are one. The universe wants to give you what you want. And so what's crazy is we don't always know that what we want is being given to us through a path we did not expect. And hey, I get that. We want everything to just be like as easy as going to a restaurant, ordering food, and they bring out your food. Like, it's a little bit more complicated with the universe and our dreams. But this is lack of direction, and this is lack of clarity. So I do understand that how you can have that struggle, but do not ever forget that you are strong, driven, and you've asked for help before. So don't think you can't ask for help again. The next question I asked is, what is the advice on how to continue to make progress? I think that's so funny because I feel like this is exactly what I was just saying. Of this card and rune talks about go into your memory from the past and know that the answers you're needing for what you're going through right now, you've already found them before. So even though you may be a little lost in direction, just remember what you had to do to get yourself out of this situation. You once had lack of clarity and direction at one point. This is talking about that you are actually getting some good luck coming in. So know where you want to go. Kind of, set your sights on something. Have a focus. When our energy isn't focused, it scatters literally everywhere. And when we have a focus, our vision is as strong as a laser beam. So when our focus isn't on one thing, it's almost squandered. And this card is talking about how you have something really good coming up, and you are going to be able to succeed at it because you've succeeded before. And just reminding you that you do have control over your future. Not everything is just like, oh, well, let's throw the dice, because it's not just random. The dice have their own system. And, you know, there's reason for it, even if we can't see it. Even if we don't know it's at the rate we threw it in, and how hard we shook the cup. And, you know, do you get what I'm saying? Like, science has its own reason for why these ended up here, but you have control over your future. Focus your energy into a single direction. So the next question is what was going to be the outcome? I think once you kind of realize what you've already been able, when you realize you've already been able to succeed at so much, I really feel like this sort of confidence in yourself is going to come in. The Knight of Wands is kind of solving the reversed Page of Wands. It's just energy lust. It's exciting. And I feel like maybe you don't have that sort of level of excitement right now just because you're exhausted. And so just know that there are ebbs and flows in life, and that you are going to have that security and balance that you've kind of always wanted. I think you're somebody who loves having ideas and going after them. And so this could be really hard if you don't have a clarity about where you're going. But just know you're going to continue to succeed. You're going to continue to have these visions for your future. And every time you go after them, I think you're going to be surprised more and more of the results. Because the Four of Pentacles is like financial stability. So I feel like you have been trying to kind of find a nice, stable life. And you're going to have that. You're going to be at peace and things just be nice and calm. And that's funny. It's like things will be at peace in your life, but you'll actually not calm. I don't think you want a calm life. I think you really enjoy the excitement. And to be truthful, that may be what got you in bad places before, is because you like the excitement. But you've learned of what to look out for and where that excitement will actually do you good and where it can hurt you. So pile 3. Oh, let's go ahead and get you some letters. I really like I like how these turn out. So, all right, let's grab some. All right. J, I, S, H, Jish. Jish. I know. That means something. Shit. Dish. I don't actually usually move these around a lot, but shit. Or hi, SJ. Hi, JS. So, I'm gonna let you play with those, but maybe, yeah, I that's just kind of the saying hi. So I think spirit is just kind of like, what I'm getting from that is just you're kind of getting like a high from Spirit. They're like, hey, I want you to know I see what you're doing. I feel like they're the ones that are going to be sending you this good luck, because you have good luck coming in. So I think it's just kind of wanting you to pay attention to the good that you have coming in. So I really think that's where we're going to leave it, pile 3. You're coming out of a really, really dark time, and you have done it. You've done the work. You have kept yourself going, and don't stress as much about not knowing 100% where you're going next, because you've gotten yourself this far already. You are going to end up in a very secure place, yet loving life. So I think the excitement you really wanted, I think you will find it. Maybe that's what's coming in for you, is just a new exciting partner, a new exciting adventure, or a new exciting creative project. But something good is really coming in for you, and I'm really excited for you. So pile 3, thank you so much for joining me. This has been absolutely so fun. This has been a really great message. I'm so proud of you. You've worked your butt off. If you liked this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the readings are working for you. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. Every single time I get a subscriber, I promise you my heart just fills up with so much joy. So thank you for being here. I look forward to reading your energy in the future. So hope you all have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pile 4. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to bring you this message, and I'm really excited that you chose this particular song. It's called Message from Spirit. So when I originally recorded these songs, they did have lyrics and, audio, all that stuff. But the mixing and mastering wasn't perfected on them, so I just released all those songs as instrumentals. So there are still some, I think my SoundCloud, I think I'll have that link down below. But so these lyrics are from a song, from the song Message from Spirit. So I'm going to go ahead and read you these lyrics. The future is bright, even if it doesn't seem right. You got to keep on going. I promise you there is more to do if you just keep on going. I know it looks really bad right now. I know you're feeling really sad right now. But I'm here to show you, to guide you out of this mess. Come on, girl, don't you look down. Your future is up ahead. The future is bright, even if it doesn't seem right. You got to keep on going. I promise you there is more to do if you just keep on going. And if you don't feel like you've got it in you, that's what we're here for. Unknowable, unseeable, a living force. Hey, little girl, you don't know what's happening. Hey, little girl, you don't see what's happening. Your whole life is about to change. So I'm really excited that you chose that song, because that song is really a song I wrote to myself from Spirit, of just, even when life feels bad and nothing looks right and you feel sad, you have to keep going, because there's more to do in your future. And so I'm really excited to see what your reading has about that. But Spirit is coming through very, very strong today for you. And they're just here to encourage you to continue forward on this journey that you've maybe have kind of lost a little bit of hope in. So let's go ahead and look at your cards and see what Spirit wants to tell you. So the first card is, what is the overarching theme to what you need to know right now? That's so cool that these actually really connect, the song and this card, because when the star is coming up, it's just wanting to remind you to have faith in the universe. Literally, it's saying, just keep the faith, because even if it doesn't seem right, you're gonna get to where you need to go. The Star is a card all about success, and it's a great card to have. So I'm really excited that this is what Spirit's wanting to come in and talk to you about. You're renewing your self-esteem and your trust in what you're doing and what you're going after. Like, it's very possible that you had kind of lost momentum on your dreams, and maybe you've been picked it up a little bit, but Spirit is here to like kick it into full gear. Like, I see on the clock that it's almost midnight. Like, you are 5 minutes from midnight, basically. You're about to hit your success. And I think Spirit's kind of just wanting to come in and like remind you of that. So the next cards I asked was, what have you already been doing that's making progress? So the Seven of Crystals just kind of wants to remind you that, like, you know where you're going. You've sniffed out with this beautiful nose, like, the path to take already. You've already seen the options and what those choices are going to do for you. And so I really feel like Spirit just kind of wants to remind you that you have done this before. I can't help but these seem so similar, just the way they are both looking. I think you've kept going, and Spirit just wants to remind you, like, you're not always going to see the results right away, but remain faithful and hopeful, and you know exactly what you're doing. I think you have been able to identify every time something wasn't working for you or wasn't feeling right. And every time that's happened, you've probably reevaluated. Like, I'm getting this energy that, like, and I can relate to this of, like, you have this dream and this vision and this goal that you've been going after. And every time you kind of maybe get an idea to do something else, I really feel like you've come to the knowing that you know what you're going after. Something was put on your heart for a reason. The universe stitched the love you have on your heart for a reason. That's why no matter what, if you've ever tried to like go do a different job or profession, you feel like something's missing, because I think you've really found, you've completely found what makes your heart sing. I think the Empress reverse kind of just talks about like bad self-image. So I'm kind of feeling that you've been able to really, I think you have full understanding of why your dreams haven't fully manifested. I see that you can identify, like, okay, I haven't had the best self-esteem. Like, I read somewhere how your dreams haven't manifested fully because you don't believe in them. You don't believe genuinely that you are able to succeed in them. You may be going after it and praying for it and wishing for it, but there cannot be a part, even the smallest part of you, that believes, well, if it doesn't happen. Like, okay, for example, what this is making me think of is I watch the show Survivor quite regularly, and last night one of the individuals went home and he got voted out, and as he was coming up, he said to Jeff Probst, he was like, hey Jeff, if, I promised my family if I were to get, voted off, to do my De Niro face. So it was like this whole thing of like, if I'm going to get my torch snuffed out, I'm going to be funny with it. And so what I don't think he noticed is he went onto the game show with what I'm going to do if I get voted off. That should never even have been an option. He should have never said, like, well, if I get snuffed off, at least I'm going to do this funny thing. Like, no, you have now created a quantum reality where the option of you getting voted out was more invested in because you believed in it. I really believe that you understand you cannot have even a sliver of doubt in yourself because it can't happen. Whatever you believe in is true. So he should have never gone on to the show saying anything about if I'm voted. Nope. It's when I win, I'm going to do my De Niro face. Like, what it should have been something like that. So. I just want to know, I don't think I've mentioned enough about the spiritual aspects of these cards and their energy. But you have been on a spiritual journey, and I just want to note that. I just want to acknowledge that because a spiritual journey is really hard to get validation from because nobody can see the results in a physical way. And the only way they'll know the results is if they're paying attention to you. And I think this spiritual journey is so important to let you know that with that spiritual energy, understanding that even having the slightest belief that it's not going to happen for you could make it not happen for you. That is a part of the spirit realm, all of that. And so you've really learned a lot about all of this. And I see that what you've learned is not in vain at all. And what you've learned and gone through is 100% getting you to where you want to go. The next question I asked was, what are you struggling with regarding this topic? Just one card. So when the Two of Wands is here, it is saying that you're struggling with being able to plan for the future. And I can see that if you don't have full faith in yourself, how can you plan for that? You might be someone who's a little indecisive. I feel like you kind of sit here and you weigh out options a lot. Because even when you get past the not believing in yourself crap, I really see that you kind of can just get analysis paralysis kind of thing. Like, if you want to do this, which one's going to take you the furthest and which one is going to, I feel like Rachel did that a lot. Rachel in the show Friends, like everything was kind of like, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? And honestly, if you don't make a decision soon enough, the universe just kind of forces you into one, and it may not have been the one that you would have preferred. So I can see that this is going to be a challenge of making progress and future planning. Yeah, so you probably are trying to decide between two roads right now of what your dreams are and what you're going after. I do have more cards though. So I did ask what's some advice on how to continue to make progress? So both of these cards talk about needing a depth to things. So what I'm kind of getting, okay, I think it's kind of starting to make a little bit more sense with Because when you have Freyja here, it really talks about you kind of need more depth to things, like surface things, beauty, shallowness is not going to take you far. And so this card talks about needing courage and to be brave and to move forward. And so what I'm understanding here is that you may be struggling with how to, well, exactly with the Two of Wands, like you may be struggling with how to move forward on what decision to make. Maybe one of your choices is kind of more a job about working with beauty and stuff, and then another one has more to do with like healing the world. And even though maybe one seems more fun, the other one will maybe give you more success and product and results. So that could be kind of what you're choosing between right now, and figuring out. And please let me know, both decisions are right. There's not one over the other that is better. If you want to do a life of like I'm seeing like a influencer, like you make videos and post pictures and things like that, where how you present yourself matters, like that's totally okay. It just comes with a totally different set of skill set, and it comes with different results. And so that's what I'm kind of, I'm seeing, like you were trying to figure out between what avenue to go. And don't forget, you are able to look at all your options and where they're going to take you. I think it's funny that the struggle just honestly comes in where which choice am I going to make? You just have a fear of the unknown, which I understand. But the song that you chose, Message from Spirit, even when what is the lyrics? The future is bright even when it doesn't seem right. You got to keep on going. I don't think there's any more accurate advice than that. The future is bright because you're moving towards the light and what is on your heart. If you were given the seed of inspiration to do whatever it is you're trying to choose between, like the Lover's card is, it says right there, choice. And a lot of people don't know that. So like this, in this position, was telling me like, you know, there's a part of me that just says like, you know exactly what you want to do. And I think it just is going to take a little bit more bravery. And so let me read more about Freyja. I feel like I'm missing something. Freyja is known as the defender of women, a battle queen, healer, and a deity of birth and death, war, witchcraft, and fertility. She is often depicted naked, unabashed in her power and primal sexuality, wearing nothing but the great constellation of a necklace called Bringsingamen, fire. Wrought from gold and amber, Bringsingamen is said to represent the power of the four elements and the fertile power of the synergy of these elements together. When Freyja dons her necklace, she is irresistible to all. Wow, okay. If that wasn't just like the last, like, there is nothing wrong with being beautiful and making a living off of that. Truly. So it just, I think they're just, I think once you find the connection where you're going to move past the shallowness, because I feel like this beauty is so much more valuable to you. Like there's this one girl I follow, She's blonde, and she's talked about, I'll give you more descriptions than that, but she's one of the people who really talked about just embracing your body for what it was. I think her screen name is like Micazon. She's blonde. She has a birthmark on her face as an identifying factor. And she talks about how she used to be so obsessed with working out, and then she went the opposite direction of just no more weighing yourself and just loving yourself. And now she's back in this balance of you can work out and want to be healthier and still accept your body for what it is. And so that's kind of the energy I'm getting of you are going to do something that is really going to bring inspiration to a lot of people. And so I'm really excited for you. The results I have here, this is the outcome. Well, 7 of Wands, for starters, is just kind of this, it is a defensive thing, but it's not like you're being attacked. It's like you know how to defend your position. And I'm seeing, sometimes I'll look at the position that these are in. And so, like the 5 of Wands reversed and the 2 of Wands upright. So your outcome is going to be that through these challenges, you're no longer going to have that tension because you know where you're going. And it will be so easy for you to defend your location and your position, because you know exactly what you're doing. Because it takes courage to put yourself on the internet. Because even though you may be helping, and it doesn't have to be the internet, but anytime you are helping a group of people, you're still going to have a small fraction of people who are wanting to hurt you and take you down. So just know that's what happens when the numbers get big enough and you're reaching a great audience and you're making a big impact. You're going to start seeing the other effects, the smaller nuisance, the trolls, I think they're called. Harmony, marriage, happiness, alignment. 10 of Cups is like, you're gonna, I'm so happy that this is the outcome for this reading, that I feel like you've been nervous for so long about how things are going to turn out. And should you do what your instincts have been saying to do? And 100%, just plan them. Just know where you want it to go, and continue to be in connection with your spiritual self. Because that spiritual aspect, and if you don't know what I mean by that, I mean, like with that influencer I was just talking about, she's not just like wanting people to accept their bodies. It's it's so much bigger than that. It's teaching us like how we're even taught in the first place to hate our bodies. And what that does to us spiritually, and how when we can just love ourselves, we treat others better. And the purpose of this life becomes so much richer. And so with the 10 of Cups here, like, this is just saying you are going to come to a perfect place of happiness and harmony. This thing that you have started to go after and you're trying to like, should I or shouldn't I? You 1,000,000% should. Keep going. You were given this because the universe believed you could accomplish it. If that makes sense. So, last thing, I wanted to grab you some letters. These are so fun. And so I try not to analyze them too much, but okay. All right. Oh, so funny. We literally got the word country, name, Asia. Interesting. Or Asia. I'll say Isa. Isa. But so maybe, again, I try not to analyze these too much because I want it to more speak to you, because it could be the country Asia, it could be a name. I'm gonna let this speak to you, and hey, if it does, you can comment and let me know, because I think that stuff is really cool when you guys like respond to things in the video, because you know, I remember every reading I'm doing. I do the reading, I edit the reading, and then I rewatch the readings to make sure for edits. So by the time I'm done, I go through them 3 times. So I know all about the readings. So I think this is where we're gonna leave it. I'm excited for you. This was such a fun, like, message from Spirit because of the song. Things may not seem perfect, but the future is bright and you just got to keep on going. So, pile 4, this was so exciting. I love getting to channel your energy, and it's always an honor when you show up for these readings and participate. So, this was just such a good reading. I'm really excited for you that this is what you needed to hear. That Spirit wants you to remember you know exactly what you're doing and who you are, and I'm really excited for you. So pile 4, thank you so much. If you liked this video, I'd love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know the reading is working for you, and if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and be a part of this. It has been an absolutely amazing journey, and just every subscriber just fills my heart with joy. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the future, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.